Hi kids, welcome to our day 11. For our day 11, it's about God makes a way from Exodus chapter 14 to 15. Moses and God's people escaped into Egypt and into the wilderness. They didn't know the way, but God knew the way and He would show them. I will bring you to a new home, a special land, God promised them. I will look after you and I am with you. God sent a big cloud for them to follow, a pillar of smoke stretching up to the sky. It moved in front of them as they walked and shaded them from the blazing heat of the day. And when it was time to rest, it stopped. All through the cold desert night, it kept them warm, glowing like fire. God led His people through the desert to the edge of a great sea. They were just wondering how to cross it when suddenly they heard a terrible thundering and pounding. It sounded almost like horse hooves. They shade their eyes to look back and scream. It was Pharaoh and his army is coming to get them. Pharaoh had changed his mind again. Get my slave back! He screamed and charged out into the desert after them. With 600 of his finest horsemen and every single chariot in Egypt, what were God's people going to do? In front of them was a big sea. It was so big, there was no other way around it. But there was no way through it. It was too deep. They didn't have any boots, so they couldn't say. They didn't have any boats, so they couldn't sail across. And they couldn't swim across because it was too far and they would drown. And they couldn't turn back because Pharaoh was chasing them. They could see the flashing sword now, glinting into the baking sun, and then the dust clouds and chariots after a scary chariots surging toward them. They did the only thing there was left to do. Panic. We're going to die! They shrieked. Don't be afraid, Moses said. But there's nothing we can do, they screamed. God knows you can't do anything, Moses. God will do it for you. Trust Him and watch. But there was no way out, they cried. God will make a way, Moses said. Another minute and it would have been over. But the strangest thing happened. God made the pillar of smoke move. It moved behind His people, hide them from the Egyptian. Then God sent the strong east wind to blow all night long. It blew it to the left and it blew it to the right until it blew it into two towering walls of water. And there, right through the middle of the sea, a muddy path opened up, and God's people walked across the dry land. When the Egyptian tried to follow them, the wall of water crashed back down to them and swallowed them up. God's people were safe. They danced and laughed and sang and thanked God. When there had been no way out, God made a way. Many years later, once again, God was making a way. Many years later, once again, God was going to make a way where there was no way. From the beginning, God's children has been running from Him and hiding. God knew His children would never be happy without Him, but they would get back to Him themselves. They were lost. They didn't know the way back. But God knew the way, and one day He would show them. Our story for today is about Moses and the Red Sea. Thank you, kids. So that will be for today. And please comment down below your artwork. And next time, I will flash all the artworks that you have made and show to our friends. And thank you, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you again tomorrow.